Hello, this is Dr. Riley. Today we're going to talk about the air we breathe and just a new finding regarding the wildfire smoke that recently we had in California. And really, it's really a problem everywhere, right? It's one of these things that the smoke and the air we breathe, we really don't realize that it's something that can cause problems for people with autism. And this is one of the things that we want to do is try to let people know. Usually it's the kind of thing that when we get exposed to smoke, we don't realize that it's actually one of these things that it can trigger problems in the developing brain. And what they just published was a study where they showed that actually that people who were living in California and breathing in the smoke from the wildfires, they had a huge increased chance of getting autistic features and becoming diagnosed as autism. And this is crazy, right? We actually think of things like this as actually causing autism, right? But it is actually something that's one of the risk factors. So, so this is something that we could see as time goes on, that when you start getting exposed to these wildfires, then there are definitely things that kind of go on where you have increase in these little particles called the particulate matter 2.5 microns or smaller. And the problem is these things they go in the air and then you breathe them in and then they go in your lungs and then they go in your blood and then they can go into the brain and damage the mitochondria there. So this is very, very not good. So we have to be able to figure out a way to protect ourselves. And really the protection starts with the education, right? So one of the things we have to do is like especially if the air quality alerts are starting to pop up, which now I think most of the people have downloaded that app FDA, the EPA has put out, airnow.gov. And it's the kind of thing that it actually helps to let us know if the air quality is getting in such a way where the particulate matter 2.5 is actually going higher. But now we know why. Why do they make these alerts? They make these alerts because they know that this will increase the risk for causing autism, but they don't come out and specifically tell people that, right? So yeah, having HEPA filters, if you're going to have to go outside, especially if you're a third trimester of your pregnancy, you need to try to protect yourself, right? Wear those kind of stupid N95 masks that we all had got familiar with during COVID, right? If you're inside your house and the air quality is poor, then it's the kind of thing, putting a HEPA filter inside your house will allow you to be breathing in fresh air. And certainly if we have a child who's already diagnosed with autism, then protecting their mitochondria by putting a HEPA filter, that would actually be good for us. So really what we want to do is just try to make people aware that this is one of the real risk factors for kids. And especially since I see a lot more kids with autism, it is the kind of thing that it's one of these things that it just drives me crazy that everybody's not more aware of this kind of stuff. And one of the things that we'll see is that sometimes people will be wearing these kind of gaiters or other kinds of things, but they don't work as good as the N95 mask or certainly a HEPA filter, right? These things will really kind of protect guys from getting exposed. And it really is a kind of thing that, especially for my pregos and for my guys when they're around that vulnerable age, around 18 months of age, they have to be really careful because sometimes the air quality will definitely be very poor. And we definitely see that where it's in the red. And if you were like me, when I was younger, I would hear these things on Eyewitness News and I wouldn't really be so freaked out because I figure like I'm young, I'm strong, I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But little did I know that when my wife was pregnant or when my kids were little, that I should have taken these things more seriously and I should have really tried to protect them to make sure that they don't breathe in these kind of little particles because they will definitely get you into trouble. So really it's the kind of thing what we have to do is everybody has to try to come together to try to protect our little ones and our pregnant, our most vulnerable people from getting exposed to this horrible kind of things that'll kind of damage the unborn baby.